is the 5th and last round of the one-day classical tournament of Empoli. And 4 out of 4, and if I win this game there is a nice chance I win the tournament, and this will be my first tournament win ever. Also, it will be a win with a perfect score with 5 out of 5. So let's see how the game goes. As you can see, my opponent has a weak score, because he's rated 999 points. Well, that's normal because he is a NC, a non-classified, because in fact this is his first tournament. He is going, I would say, pretty well for him, and he is also strong. He plays in the same chess club as mine, and we played a few times, and I know for the fact that against the French, he just played the Queen's Gambit. So I think this is another good reason to play the French this time, because I really like playing against the Queen's Gambit. I think I can counter it pretty well with the line of bishop on e5. So for this reason, after they play e4, I play e6, and you know what is going to happen. Also, before letting you watch the game, remember that we played and waited for other round to start for around 10 or 11 hours, so we're really tired, and it makes sense that someone is going to make a mistake. He played knight on f3, and I played e5. He played e5, which, I mean, is the move to get to the Queen's Gambit. I play c5 and then before. This is the Queen's Gambit, the same opening I played in the last round, the same stuff. I take the pawn, which is theory, obviously, and now he plays a3, which is also theory, and instead of taking the pawn, which is a move, but I don't want to give white all the activity possible in this position, so for this reason I'm just happy to be up pawn, and I play knight on c6. I take with the bishop. He plays c3. I slide the bishop back, but not on e7, but in a5. Also, you could play bishop on e7, it's a move, but I think that on a5 in this case makes more sense, because he's going to play d4, and this is a weakness that could be easily targeted by the bishop on a5. So it's a move that makes a lot of sense, and this bishop could have an important role in the game. Also, as you can see, this is the same position I had in the last round. As I said, usually this dispose into this position, and I play bishop on d7, which makes a lot of sense, and just developing pieces, and I happy. In this position, in the last round, the opponent played queen on c2, and I played rook on c8. Queen on c2 it's inaccurate because it gives me a target. In fact, he played the best move, which is bishop on d3, which makes sense. The point of the Queen's Gambit is launch all the pieces you have on the king side. For this reason, I don't castle. I don't really castle, because otherwise I get destroyed. So I play knight on e7, which, I mean, it makes sense. I'm developing pieces, and maybe in the future I want to play knight g6, and maybe at that point castle. So knight on e7 is a pretty good move. And now he played a weird move, knight on g5, and I knew this was a bad move. I just knew it was a best move, because, I mean, you're just playing with 2 pieces. I just had to castle and I'm okay. Obviously, I can't castle now. If I castle now, I get destroyed. He can take with check, but he also has queen on h4. But this move is too quick. You should wait. And the best move is taking the pawn on d4, which I saw because, I mean, you can take this pawn is pinned, that is the bishop. But I was really scared about this position, because I thought that queen on h4 was a pretty strong move. But after that, you can just play knight on g6, and Stockfish says that you are really okay. But I mean, if you see this position for the first time, it's really hard to play it because it looks really scary. The best move is to take the pawn, so knight takes on h7, and then you can play queen on c7, putting pressure on this pawn, and let's say they take this knight. The point is that you don't take with the pawn, You don't absolutely take with the pawn. First you take this because we check. Let's say they block, because otherwise, let's say take, I win the rook. They block. It's good that the rook is hanging, but there is also all this stuff hanging. But at this point you can take the knight with the rook, which is the thing I missed. And if they take with the queen, you take the bishop. If you take this pawn, with the bishop, I just slide the king back. And we're having a lot of trouble. This pawn is hanging with the queen, and after you move yours, let's say you take my rook, I win the bishop, so I'm much better, obviously. The best move will be to take the rook with the bishop, but even after that, you just win the rook and you're much better, but I wasn't able to see all this stuff, and I was really scared, in fact, about playing something like that. For this reason, instead of taking the pawn, I decided to play g6. Now, g6 is just a blunder. It's a bad move. It's just a bad move. Because you think I might be solid now because it doesn't have queen on h4, but what about queen on f3? What about queen on f3? And queen on f3, let's say I castle, which is another problem. I can't even castle because he plays something like that and I get destroyed. So at this point, if we play queen on f3, I can't even push the pawn because he take with en passant, so I had to block with the knight. And I thought I was losing because he has something like that, although after he plays queen on f3, he played it, it's the best move, quite a logical one. You have to be careful about playing pawn on g4. So I thought I was much worse, but not even that losing. Because I still have a lot of counterplay, and I also have the move pawn on h6. Obviously I can't move the knight because I get mated. So if you play g4 now, I can take this pawn with the knight. I can take it. The knight can't be taken, obviously, and if you move the queen on f4 is the best move. Stockfish says we are equal because I have queen on c7 and a lot of counterplay. Yeah, I lose a piece, I guess. But wait, do I even lose a piece? No, I don't lose a piece. Let's say I play this, you take with the knight, I'm going to take the rook. So it's equal if he plays g4 because I have this tactic. In fact, I thought that in this position the best move was just castling, which is true. The best move is castling. So you castle, and now I don't have this tactic, and if you play g4, I lose the knight, so I play h6 now, they play knight on h3, knight on h4, let's say something like this happen, queen on g3, queen on g4 is saying, and now you play rook on b8, for example, the knight is not hanging, I can live without it. Obviously black is worse because the king side is really weak, although I can still hope for something. And I still have a pawn, so I mean, it's playable. Let's put this way. You probably lose, but it's playable. Although in this position there is also another move, which I saw and I thought it was a really bad one. And after my opponent played this move, I was really relieved. Because now I can take the knight, and after they play g4, which I mean, it's the point, my knight is pinned, and yeah, he's basically saying that I'm much worse because my king is weak. I end up a pawn, but my king is really weak, although he missed something. He missed that in this position I have knight takes d4, obviously, and now you are in trouble. You should move the queen somewhere else, let's say queen on h3, and I'm up a piece, is -8, is completely over, but instead, he played queen on f4. And honestly, in this position, I thought I was still in trouble. And I thought I was going to lose a piece, but I mean, my position and then wasn't even that bad. But I had to defend because my king was really weak. Although luckily, I saw a really good move, the best one, And at that point, I understood that I blundered at the fact that I was winning, I was completely winning with g5. G5 is an incredible move, and another thing, I didn't even notice that first. I played g5 with the point that if you take the pawn, I just take, you take, and at this point I play rook on g8, that's what I thought, and let's say, what is, yeah, you play this, you can't take this, so I take this, although after they take, there is the knight hanging, so that's really complicated. Maybe I saw a way, a better way to do this. I think I saw a better way to do this, but I don't even remember, and honestly was really tired. But after I played this, I see another thing. That if you take this pawn, I just have a knight on f3. What about your queen? You lose the queen. You're just completely lost. So you can take this pawn, but where is your queen going? Not there. There is the pawn, there is the knight, there is the knight, and there is the knight. So your queen just has a square. Queen on d2. And guess what? You still lose the queen. This queen is completely wrapped. Completely wrapped. This game was just pure madness, pure blunders after blunders. And luck, also luck. Although all of this happened because I saw that I had knight take, and I thought that at least it was a playable move in this position, and that I still had a lot of chance. I thought that my king was weak, although if he doesn't have a queen, I don't really care, you know. So in this position my opponent played queen on e3, also he was really tired. That's obviously blunders the queen, and after he played this move he decided to resign, which makes sense. And I mean, he played a really good tournament, not gonna lie. He ended up in third position, so I mean, third position for your first tournament between, I think we were 54 people. You played pretty well, I had to say. There is a problem though, because I'm not sure I'm winning the tournament, because there is also the second board. I'm playing on board 1, but on board 2, there is a guy with 4 points playing a guy with the point and a half. Now, if the guy with the point and a half wins, I don't care, I win the tournament. But if the guy with 4 points wins, there is a chance we're going to play Armageddon. So I still have to play other games, and as you can see, I'm not really in the best shape right now. But luckily, it was playing against a kid. The kids are just mad. Are just really strong, and it was a really dumb position. They had 2 rooks. The pawn structure was completely locked, and they ended up drawing the game. So guys, I won the tournament. It was a perfect tournament, 5 points out of 5. I won around 50 rating points. It is unfortunate that my last opponent was non-classified, because that doesn't give me points at all. Even if I lose, I don't lose points. But now I am with the 1500, I'm really happy about that, and obviously I still need to make a lot of progresses because I want to reach 2000 and get the title. But that's a good step in the right direction. I'm really happy about that, and see you with the next video.